Hello guys, here's Steadman. Today guys, I'll be showing you guys how to install Linux Mint. So basically, Linux Mint is a very popular Linux distribution for beginners or somebody who just wants to get their stuff done very quickly. It's nothing like Arch Linux or Gentoo or anything like that. It is a very simple and easy process of installation. It's in fact a graphical user interface, and it tends to be a lot more fast to install. Now this is what a new user would go for, or somebody who wants to get things done very quickly and set up their system very quickly. Okay, so basically go to Linux Mint website, and this is where we'll be able to install it, and we should be able to download the latest version. So this is what I recommend. You guys can either download from here, or you can just click it there. So I will just click it there, and there's three flavors that you guys can go for. We could go for cinnamon, which is the most popular one, or we can go for Mate, or we can go for XFCE. For installation part of it will be the same. Basically, it'll be very similar to the other ones. So if you're following this tutorial on a different desktop environment using Linux Mint, then you guys should be fine following this tutorial. Okay, so we could go for cinnamon. I will go for, because cinnamon is more popular, I will just download the cinnamon edition. So just click onto this download button, and then from here what you guys can do is download from a country to get fastest installation. So I would go for United Kingdom because I live here. So I'm going to scroll the way down until I find for UK. Here it is. Now you guys can select UK fast because it sounds fast, and I press onto OK, and now this will tell them how long it would take you to install it. So it should only take around 10 minutes to 20 minutes. It depends really on the network and your hard drive and stuff like that. It depends mostly on the hardware and on the internet. But normally it should only take around 20 to 10 minutes. So it's not a major problem. I'll be back very soon. Okay, now let's start installing Linux Mint. But before I do so, I need to set up a photo machine. And also, if you're doing this on your hardware, make sure I have a USB stick. And I'll have to write the ISO file to the USB stick, which I have to use by using Etcher or any form of other tool that will allow you to create a bootable ISO file. And this is what I show you guys in the next episode, is how to use Etcher on Windows 10. But at the moment, what we're going to be doing is we're going to be making a photo machine, and in this video I'll be creating a photo machine. This is it, creating a photo machine. So I will name this one Linux Mint. And I'll have to Ubuntu 64-bit, well it's based on Ubuntu, but it's not Ubuntu. So go for Linux 64-bit, now go to next, and this is you have to give it as much RAM as you want. Basically this is Cinnamon Edition, you guys may have forgotten something else, which is completely fine, but we should just give it around. Maybe that much RAM is fine. Now we can create the photo disk now, and I will just go for defaults on these. So this is a storage now, so for this part you can give it as much storage as you want. Give around 30 gigabytes of storage or more if you want. I recommend you guys to give it around 30 gigabytes. If you're doing a single hardware, then you should be able to erase a whole disk, or it can obviously do a partition yourself and allow yourself to use like a dual boot sort of thing with Windows 10. Okay, but in this video I'll be showing you guys how to erase the entire disk, as this will be a very basic tutorial for new beginners. So we need to go to settings, and from here what I have to do is attach ISO file. So these steps that I did this in photo machine won't apply to anything that has to do with anything with hardware, because we already have it all set up. Okay, so we'll go for Linux Mint 20.2 Cinnamon 64-bit ISO file of whatever flavor that we have installed. Now press into OK, and now we can go to start. But well, before I do that, what you guys will need to do is go to display and give it as much free RAM as you possibly can, and enable 3D acceleration. So make sure I have this enabled, and now I can press into OK, and now start up the photo machine, and it should start booting. Okay, I'm going to show you guys the booting process, basically how it should look if it was successfully booted. Okay, so you guys should be able to see this. So if you have any issues, then go to start the compatibility mode, or you can go install for, this is for manufacturers, and so on. So this is to boot up from the hard disk, this hardware detection, and so on. So what we're going to do right now is start the Linux Mint. Make sure we press onto this one, and it should start it up. So we're going to see a bunch of text in a minute, and that's completely normal. It's the way it should be booting. So if you see these two host errors, then don't worry about them. They're nothing bad. It is the virtual machine giving these errors. It has nothing to do with the operating system. Okay, so it should be booting up any minute now. Okay, so we're gonna see everything is okay. So as long as everything is okay, then we're fine. It might say that a few files is missing or directories are missing, but as long as everything is saying it's okay, it's green and everything is okay. So what normally happens on some distros though, what you might find is that it might check for disk for any errors, like check for ISO file, like they do in Fedora, they check it if there's any errors within it. If there is some errors, then it prevents you from booting up entirely to reinstall it, or do some more troubleshooting skills. Okay, so it should be booting up any minute now. So this would be a graphical user interface installation, so it's going to be very simple, and I'm going to show you guys how simple the installation part is. So I may have to wait for a few minutes for this to be loaded. Okay, I'm going to just put this down. Okay, but it looks like it has loaded up then, because I see the mouse pointer. We just gotta love the mouse pointer, he's cute. The mouse pointer is cute, isn't he? We just gotta love the mouse pointer. Oh wait, if you guys want to exit from the actual VM, just do right control, and then we should be able to exit if I have it captured. Okay, so it shouldn't take that long to boot up. Okay guys, sorry, I had a sound of it booting up, so this is a good thing. When I hear the sound in that, it's a good thing. Okay, so we guys can play around with this and see if we like it. We can open up a terminal. Don't open it up if we're not really an expert with that, because I'll be doing a video about how to use a terminal for beginners. But so far, we're just going to show you guys how to install Linux Mint. Now, click onto this button. Once you finish playing around with the Linux distribution and see if you like it at all. If you don't, then that's fine. Basically, the installation to other distributions are just as simple as this. In fact, most of the steps in other distributions such as Pop! OS, Ubuntu, or Linux FX should be basically the same process. But what I guys wanted to install though is to install Debian or Ubuntu based operating systems. Make sure it does that, because these beginner friendly distributions will be based on Ubuntu. So as long as you basically install Debian or Debian based distributions like Ubuntu, Linux Mint and so on, then you should be fine. Okay, because this is what most beginners would go with anyway. Okay, so we'll probably up to this installation part, so we'll see this graphical user interface. If you want to read what's new, then just click onto this release notes, and then it will take you to a web page all about the new updates. And this is where you could choose language. If you don't want English, if you want Chinese, then select Chinese. If you want Russian, then select Russian, and so on. Okay, continue. Press the continue button to continue, and it should boot up to the other stage of the installation. Okay, this is a keyboard setup now. So what you guys will need to do is select English UK for me, but it depends on wherever we are in this country, in this whole entire world. I mean, so if you're in Russia, then select a Russia keyboard. If you're in Japan, then select a Japan keyboard. If you're in China, then select a China keyboard, and etc. Okay, so this is where we could test out if everything is working, and it does seem like everything is indeed working. Okay, continue. Now for this point, what you guys want to do is install multimedia codec. I recommend you guys to install this, so that way you guys will have the best experience when playing some videos and to render some websites basically. Now click on to next, and now we should be on our next step. Just wait for this to be loaded. It shouldn't take that long to load at all. This is why I don't really like installing graphical user interface operating systems. They take a while to load. Whereas an Arch Linux, I'll probably tell all that. If I think of the next step, this is the point where we have to do our partitioning and stuff like that. Well, no, because we still have to install the actual base system to choose some options for it. Okay, what I'll do right now though is just pause this video so that way guys don't get bored. Okay guys, now we should see the screen. So this allows you to erase disk and install Linux Mint, or we could do something else, and this will allow you to do manually partitioning. So I would go to erase disk. There's some additional features, and they will allow you to encrypt this drive and etc. We're not going to be doing that. We're just going to go through the simple installation. So this is a warning right now. If I have anything on this virtual machine or on this hard drive, then the data will be deleted. The data will be gone. So before we install this, make sure that we back up our data. It is very important before we do it for installation. If we don't do a backup, then we lose all files, and then we'll teacher from a college or from a school will get pretty annoyed at you, and you probably will need to redo our assignment, and that'll be pain in the ass. So just go to erase disk and install the next bit. Okay, now go to install. And now it shouldn't take that long. It'll just show up a message telling you that what will be formatted. Okay, see, so we're going to see this. This is a partition that will be formatted onto this drive. So just press on to continue, and then what should happen is that it should ask you to create your own user. But before that, we need to do our location. Okay, so from here, select where we're in this world. If we're in Russia, then choose Russia. If we're in the United Kingdom, select United Kingdom. If we're in Japan, then select Japan, and etc. So you guys get this. Okay, London. I live nowhere near London. In fact, London is so far away from me. Okay, I should just press to continue now. So I would just say I'm living in London, because I don't want you guys to, know where I live. That would be quite a nightmare. So just press on to continue, and then we should be fine. Okay, this is the part where I have to create the user. So this is your name. So make sure I put down my name here. So I just put down Jonathan Steadman, because that's an awesome name. Okay, so this is a password. So for this part, we have to enter a very strong password, I recommend. So if you want to go for your normal password, then do that. So just put down a password. You guys can put down a weak password or a strong password. It's entirely up to you, but I recommend you guys to do a strong password if we're installing this on real hardware, because if somebody tries to hack into a system, then obviously they can delete your assignments for college or school, and then the teacher will get mad at you, and they'll have to redo all your assignments. So make sure you don't get hacked. Okay, so what you guys could do from here, we can encrypt my home folder, so you can do that if you wanted to, so like add a password to it. What we're going to do right now is log in automatically. Okay, so I'm going to log in automatically in this virtual machine, or you guys can go to require my password to log in. Okay, let's click on to continue. Okay guys, so at this point, operating system will be installed very, very, very soon. So I'm going to pause this video, and once it has finally finished installing, I'll be back. Guys, so it looks like it has been installed successfully. What I will be doing though is shutting down instead. So because I need to disattach the ISO file. So just press onto X button, and I'll go down here, and now from here we should click onto this icon, and now we can just shut down by clicking onto this icon right here. I think it's because this is, okay, let me just do that. From there we can just shut it down, and now we have to go to the phone. Okay, power off machine, okay, and that should just force it to shut down. Okay, so what you have to do now guys is to disattach the ISO file, which you have to do very soon. Okay, and now we'll go back to photo machine. Now we can go back there, now go to settings. Now from this point you should see the ISO file by going to storage, and this is where the ISO file is at. So just click onto this icon. Now we can just remove it, and now we should only have this hard drive. Do not remove this at all, because this is where Linux Mint is stored on. Now click on OK, and if everything is installed properly, then you should not see a grub error. So just click on to start now, and then hopefully you have no errors, which you shouldn't have because it's a very simple installation of Linux Mint. And it doesn't look like we have any errors, which is a good thing. If you want to do some debugging, what you guys can do is press the escape key, and this will show up if there's any errors or not while booting up. Now this might take a minute or two um, for it to load. So what I may do, guys, is okay. It's booting up, I guess. Yeah, here we are. Okay, so this is the next minute. As I showed you guys, that we can place on escape key, and this is basically for debugging. If for a new user, don't worry about this. Just press the escape key again, and you should just see the logo. But for some reason, it's glitching for me, but that's completely fine. Just don't worry about the text though. All we should really see is the logo if you're a new user. It will tell you if there's any errors or not. Anyway, if they are critical. So it looks like we have installed it successfully. Now guys, I'm going to show you guys in a minute how to basically how to actually update your system. I'm not going to use a terminal sort of way because I don't want to confuse anyone, as you just have installed the first ever Linux distribution of your choice. In that case, you decide to install Linux Mint. It could be any other distro. It could be Peppermint OS. It could be Pop OS. But the process is kind of similar. So whatever distribution you get is going to be the same. Now, well, the same process. There might be a different look to it. Like in Pop OS doesn't look anything like Linux Mint, but they're pretty much input to install anyway. So if you know how to install Linux Mint, then it should be fine with installing Pop OS, Ubuntu, and so on. Okay, at this point, put down a password, and it should be booting up to the desktop environment, which is Cinnamon. A desktop environment is basically where we're going to see icons that we could click onto, where we could go into Firefox, for example. We can close windows and so on, so we can use the mouse. Whereas a text-based OS is basically text-based view. It's basically for terminal, which allows you to do text-based commands. But we're not going to worry about the text sort of based stuff first. We're going to focus on the graphical user interface to begin with, to keep this part simple. Because I want to go from simple to advanced. I don't want to go straight to advanced like that, because it's not good. I just want to go for basics first. Okay. Yeah, it looks like we are booting up. Okay, so right now we have booted up for okay, check your video drivers. Okay, so this is so we're gonna have to launch for video drivers, and then from here what you guys will have to do is install some drivers. This might be a 30 machine driver or NVIDIA and so on. So this is quite important to do this right now. And it looks like from here that we do have some updates. But to begin with, we're going to have to look for some hardware drivers and install any of them if there is any. But I think for me, I'm going to get a 30 machine sort of thing. So I should only get a 30 machine driver update available. What the guys could do is maximize this so that way it's easier to see. This does take a while to load though, because it's a graphical user interface. Looking for hardware drivers. So what I'm going to go through right now is for Update Manager, because it's going to tell you welcome to the Update Manager, and then from here we can click onto OK, and this tells you more about it if you want to read. I don't like reading, so I'm not going to go read through that. Hopefully it's been loaded up by now. No, it's still loading. Okay. So everything seems like it's still loading. So what I may do, guys, is pause this video, and once there is some form of interaction I could do, I'll be back. Okay, guys. So right now we're going to see once Update Manager has responded to you. What you guys can do is that there's a new version of Update Manager is available. So what you guys will have to do is apply for the update, and then from here what you guys have to do is put down a password to confirm that you want to do this update. So put down a password, it could be anything, it could be password 123 and so on. Okay, so this should update all updates if there's any of them available. So this is going to show up any individual files. This will tell you what's happening in the background of the terminal things, but I wouldn't worry about that. Okay, the computer does not need any additional drivers. Okay, that's a good thing, so don't worry about that then. Okay, so this might take a few seconds to install, but I'm not actually going to go for the installation part maybe, because it might take a while. So it's going to be covering a Mint update, we can go to details and so on. Okay. So this can take some time, and this is true. Okay. Okay, so basically what it has done was that basically finished with the update. So what guys should see is a bunch of updates available over here. If you want to install any updates, all you guys would need to do is click onto this button right up here, install updates, and then put down a password, a press the enter key, and it should start updating. So this is how guys will be able to install some updates. So looks like we have some kernel updates. So what you guys will need to do to apply these kernel updates is to reboot the system. These are very critical though. I recommend you guys to update for Linux kernel. They are very important. So what you guys can do is right now press into OK, and I'll put down a password, and it should start updating your system. This could take around 10 to 20 minutes depending on the internet and also hardware. So I would give it around 20 minutes maybe. I'll be back very soon once the update has been finished, but I'm going to wait for it to respond to me, I guess. Welcome. So this is the welcome screen, okay guys, so we're going to see this. This is basically the steps. So this will tell you more about the operating system and some customizations. So you want to turn on dark mode, and just click onto this button, and this will allow you to turn on dark mode. So just click over here. If you want to go for a classic style, then go for traditional. If you want to go for modern, which is on that we have enabled right now, then just stay on modern. So basically I'm going to turn on dark mode, and what you guys can also do is turn on traditional, which I will do right now because I like traditional. It's very nice. And I can also do a system snapshot, so that way if you have any issues with booting up the system and we'll have a snapshot, then you can easily recover from a previous version of operating system. So this is quite useful if you want to have a recovery sort of thing. And this documentation, this tells you more about the operating system, how to use it, and basically for forums and stuff like that. So you guys can click onto the documentation. Help is basically help with how to use operating system, I guess, or is it like links to forums? Not 100% sure about that. I never really went through this apart from just customizing my first step. So the guys will be able to get help, and we can contribute. So that means you can donate money to them, or you can take part in their project. Looks like it crashed. Two systems can't. Yeah, that's because I'm very low on RAM. It has something to do with you. Okay, so for some reason it turned off dark mode. I think this might be a glitch. I'm running this in a photo machine, so I think obviously this video is not perfect because this is running in a photo machine. Okay, what I will do right now is select dark mode, and now what you guys can do is go to help if you wanted to. It shouldn't take that long to update because it's just it's very close to finishing. Okay, so this is about help, as I figured out. It is web forums, so you can go here if you want to go to the Linux Submit forums, or you can go to our IRC chat room, which I've never really been to before, but you guys will be able to go there. And this is where we can donate money to them, so you can contribute to them by donating, or you guys can take part in their project if you wanted to. But if you have some experience within IT, then I would recommend you guys to contribute because they're truly a great company. But if you guys are kind of new, a college student like me, then I don't really would recommend you guys to join Linux Mint team because I want them to be with professionals, so that way they can give the best experience to its users. Okay. So basically that was just went through for welcome screen. We can always exit from that if we wanted to. So it's only going to take around 10 seconds left, but we're going to have to install it after we download these packages. So we haven't really finished just yet. Okay, so basically this is where we'll be able to go and open up all programs. So if you want to open up LibreOffice, for example, then open it up from here. There's internet as well, so if you want to go to Firefox, or if you want to set up web apps, or Phonemail Mail, this is basically mail by Mozilla company, the same company that made Firefox. So if you go here, HexChat, I see that it's bloatware because I don't hardly use that, but if you guys like to use HexChat, then it's enabled here. And this is graphics, so this is pics, drawing, and so on. This is accessories, so it's GNOME disks to manage your partitions or to check the health of your disk. So you want to click onto that and just make sure that the disk is okay. So from here I've got master boot record. This is serial number. This smart is not enabled, it's not supported, and the reason for that is because obviously I'm running it in a virtual machine. But if we're running this on a real hardware, then it will be supported. Okay, so this looks like an easy FI system. That's pretty cool. Okay, so it's covering System D. So once you played around with GNOME disks, because this is what I really recommend new users to go to before Smart CTL, is to basically look for health of their disk here, because this tells you a very good restrictive on health of your hard drive. And what you guys may also notice is that this is a file, so we'll be able to browse the files here. We can also add some files or download some files, and this is where all files will be stored on the basically this is where all files will be here. So when I create a new folder, then all you do is do right click, and now you can create a new folder or you can create a new document and so on. So these are basically settings that you guys can explore and have some fun with. I'm not going to go too in depth in this. I'm just going to go for basically for basics, base part of it. So I'm not going to go through all of it. So I want to learn more about it, just click on to about, and this will tell you more about Nemo, which is quite good actually. I really like it a lot. And you guys can also open up Firefox. You guys can also open up Terminal. So this is where we're going to be doing the tutorial basics of how to use the terminal. So we're going to go for basics of using a terminal here. You're not going to go through them right now, but I just want to give you a good idea of how the terminal looks if it does load. And also there's some, this is a software manager, so this is where I'm going to be installing all of the softwares. I'm not going to go through that right now. Probably in a future episode where I'm going to be installing some softwares in this virtual machine. This is logs. This is basically to check for any errors on the system. So okay, I don't like that bad. Failed, unable to locate the ML control file. I don't quite know what that means. In fact, I have this on my PC right now, so I don't think it's critical. They're all saying the same error message. Okay, so this is sound and video, so you guys will be able to play videos and play some music video files here. This is privileges, so you'll be able to go to firewall. If you want to enable firewall, which I do recommend you guys to do, then do go over here. This is extensions, so if you want to add some extensions to the system, then you can. Basically, this is privacy. Yeah, there's a lot that we can do here. We can also change the language, you can change the sound, and we can also change the themes. So this is where I can change the themes. I'll go for this right now, for in case if you don't like this theme that we have enabled right now. All Linux is all about is basically about customizing it to make it feel like it's your own system. So if you want to change a theme, feel free to. The Linux Mint does not stop you from doing that. So this is where I'll be able to install some themes by going to popularity and seeing which one is the most popular ones and so on. So what I'll do right now is probably minimize this. It's refreshing for cache, so it's going to refresh all of this. I'm going to go back to the software manager, and this is update manager and this is going to keep on installing some updates, and this is going to be refreshing with cache. So once I get a response from this, I'll be back. Okay guys, so I did got a response. If we go back to add and remove, so if you like one of these themes, then go for it. We can also enable dynamic, cinnamon, transparent if we wanted to, but for one I will go for though, is going to be something cool. So I will just go way down. If there's one that we like, then select it. I wonder if they still have a pink one though. They should do. This pink is awesome. Here it is. I was purple, but you guys should be able to download it by pressing on the download bar. And yeah. Now if we go back to themes, and now if we go to basically over here, then this is where I'll be able to change it. So we can change the folder icon if we wanted to by clicking over here. We can go for mint, white, pink if we wanted to, which I do recommend. And now if we go over down here, then we can select this one, and this will change for appearance like this. I do think this does actually look a lot better though, in my honest opinion. And when I change it to dark mode, then I can to dark mode mouse pointer, so you can definitely do that. You can also change your control for buttons, for controls, and we can basically change it to this one for one that we have basically downloaded. And now for mint white dark, we can also change this one if we wanted to maybe this one, and this will make the system look a lot better. Now we can always exit from that, and we're gonna wait for this to be installed. Okay guys, so I'll be back very soon once the system decides to be finishing with the update. Okay, basically the update should be basically done very soon. In fact, I think it's done right now. Oh no, it's not yet, but it should be done very soon. If I had any kernel updates or anything else like that, then I may ask you to do a reboot, and then once you're done with the reboot, then everything should be up to date. Okay, so I'm gonna finish doing this updating. I'm just gonna wait for that to be done. But you guys may be asking, I'm running this in a photo machine, and the resolution does not look as great. Well, to change the resolution, all guys will need to basically do is go to settings, and then from here we should see like the display settings. It's not really hard at all. Just go to settings, and now what you guys should see is display. So display. So click over here, and this is where we'll be able to change the display. So this is a recommended resolution they recommended to use, but you guys can always change it. So if you want to change it to this, then you can. Hopefully this will give me a better resolution, and it indeed does. And if I do machine, if I do view for screen mode, and if I switch, if I want to go for screen mode, then it should allow me to go to full screen version view of it, like this. And now we can keep this configuration, and basically that's how guys can change it. If you want actually to be full screen, then you may need to go back to settings and change it. But because I'm happy with this, I don't really mind having it like this, as long as it's a bigger resolution and it's easier for guys to see what I am doing on this system. Okay, so that's basically how to install Linux Mint. I like to thank you guys so much for watching this video, and if you have any feedback, then please comment down below for comments down below. And if you can like this video, we can please subscribe. And yeah guys, I'll see you next time. Bye.